Buckey Bugs, which you didn't know we were, but we are. I'll just do another book for you, and I've got some material you can have if you want it. So we take a bead, a normal grub hook. This is a 14, I think, and we stick a black bead on it. This might be a bit bigger than I would normally use. I probably normally use a 2.4. I'm not too sure, but this I think is about a 2.8. So pop that on. He says, pop that on. And one of the things that Peter uses amber marabou for his body, but I don't. I use this, and you can take this apart obviously because it's stranded. So I take one of the strands off like that, cut it off, and that's going to be my abdomen. I'm also going to use some copper wire. Slightly darker than I normally use, a bit thicker. Copper wire, wool, and where do I put it? And this, which is hen's body something, his body stretch, is it? I can't remember now.
Yeah.
Hen's whatever. Shell bag, basically. Hen's. Yeah, no, it's not hens even, it is Climber products, yeah. But basically shell bag. Right? You should either take a normal shell bag and a brown pen, or this just happens to be brown, right? Peter uses a brown pen at the end. The trouble with using a brown pen on wool is it absorbs it too quickly and too much of it gets brown. So we use this. So, brown thread I use. It's best, the best invention ever. When we do this fly tying school, I keep saying to people, thread control, control. Use your little finger as a disc brake on your spool. Come on. You must do thread control. And then if I have to tie a fly that I can't use these on because it's the wrong colour thread, and I'm going, oh, don't wash. So just whip the thread round the bend, standard bug stuff. Whop in, wherever I put it, the copper wire. And I'll pop in some of this body stretch. Cut it into a little V, make it easier to tie down. It's usually got a shiny side and a dull side, isn't it? So kind of want the dull side up, I think. Just tie that in. Always hold it down like that when I'm doing it so it stays on top. And then some of the abdomen. Tied down fairly tight. Cut that off, and we're ready to rock and roll with that. So another thing I tend to do, if I'm dubbing or if I'm ribbing really, or wrapping a material round, and there's a chance of knocking this to one side, I'll put just a single whip on, just to sort of. Because, if you wrapped it and you knock it out and it all unravels, pecky is what you usually say. But this is a good thing about that. I can leave that over there now and it'll come straight back up here. It's fantastic. It is.
I want some of what he's on.
You want to find, don't you? I don't usually get enthusiastic. I do about certain things. Won't get about you. I overstretched it there, that's the problem. Just tie that down. Now, like that, my ginger tomfly, this will just be, I'll only really use the abdomen on this. Nice and tight. This is now, I've overstretched this thing and it's lost a bit, that's it, it lost a bit of its clockworkness. Get that over there a bit more. Sometimes it's a real pick to keep it on top, isn't it? Especially if it's slipping material. Turn it back a little bit. Off she comes. Then, usual thing, rip finish it, whip finish it. I mean, rivet, get there in the end. I very often do my ribbing like that so I can see if my shellback is staying on top, you know, until I've got it nice and tight. You know. Imagine tying this in a size 30. I'll show you one in a minute, size 30.
I've seen them fishing size 32 in the States,
Yeah.
you know.
I got a great book by Ed Engel, you know, Colorado. Do you know, well, I've heard of, not maybe know of, but I've brought that round now. I've heard of, well, even I've not heard of him, I can't remember his name now. The trout bum.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Gerrach. Well, Ed Engel's one of his mates, and he's a big cane rod fan, as well as being into tying small flies. He's a really good book called basically Tying Small Flies. Well, this friend Rod Dibble, who's getting into them, he said, "Oh, they're a bit big then, size 28s, you know, oh, a bit big." And David Southall, you heard of David Southall?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, David, he's a lovely fellow, David. But when you read his writings, you think he might be a bit arrogant because he's saying, "Oh, I've got that on the size 30 and I've got this on the size 32." But it's just normal to him. And you're not really sort of arrogant at all. He's a lovely fellow.
What colour is the dubbing?
This is the same dubbing that I use on my Ginger Tom, which is, it is Wapsit Life Cycle Nymph Dark Brown. But basically any dark brown
Yeah.
dubbing that's a bit short in the flue, you know.
Yeah.
You can use hares here and stuff like that,
Yeah,
or squirrel, you know, or you can use ice dub, you know. But this is, I like this because it's really buggy, isn't it? You know. I spoke to Simon Kidd because we both know Simon Kidd quite well. I spoke to him, you know, the Snowby bloke, who's now running Snowby. We spoke to him at this Southwest Fly Fair, and we talked. I gave him a couple of these. He said he reckons that it's basically taken as a sedge pupa, you know, and that ginger tomfly of mine as well.
Yeah.
You know, I can see where he's coming from in that. So that's the Buckey Bug, and it's. Although he would normally just brown it over there, you know, but because I've used this brown shellback material, I don't need to do that. So I think it's a little fly.